Good evening, everybody. Excuse me. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to season 4, episode 3, overall number 34 of the Small Talk podcast, a monthly entertainment talk show hosted by co-hosts Marlene Sharp and Chris Pomay as we interview guests from various diverse professions around the world. And I'm happy to have this show tonight on with Marlene. I hope everyone's doing well on this Tuesday, March 31st. 2026. It's almost 60 degrees here now, raining, and hopefully the thunderstorm won't affect my power tonight. But I'm looking forward to having Marlene on and our special guest on in just 2 minutes. I'm going to bring on my lovely co-host, Marlene Sharp from Los Angeles. Good evening, Marlene. How are you?
Hello from cloudy Los Angeles.
I forgot to do this for you, Marlene.
Oh, what? Do what?
And I do have the applause, and I also have the boo button. The boo button on here now.
I have to say, applause is very much more appealing.
Yes.
But I'm grateful to be here, so I'll take whatever you've got.
So how are you doing, and how did your event go on Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening?
Thank you for asking. I'm a little bit under the weather, but the good news is that the event went well. So we hosted a comedy show here in Los Angeles. Oh, God bless you. Or
sorry about that. I'm good.
I know, talking about being under the weather. Two sickies here. But yes, we had a successful show at the Upstairs Comedy Club in Los Angeles on Sunday. And as our regular viewers might recall, I do a lot of work with autism, which will figure its way into today's conversation. And the Sunday event was a benefit for autism and entertainment. And we had an all-star lineup of comedians and educational partners from Autism and Entertainment who performed. We were incredibly fortunate to have Craig Robinson as the headliner. You might know him from The Office and Hot Tub Time Machine franchise. And he crushed it. He is a phenomenal performer who plays music almost constantly during his set. It's quite a spectacle to behold. So we're thankful to him and all the comedians who came out and all the audience members especially. So thank you for asking, Chris. And I could talk about it all day, but I will not, because we've got an amazing guest today.
How many people, before we get our special guest in 30 seconds, how many people attended this event?
I think the tickets, we had about somewhere between 70 and 100 seats sold. And those were individual seats. We had a couple of tables, so people were able to buy these booths. And so I think the booths seat about 6 people. So yeah, we're still waiting for a final tally, but it was a good audience, and it was our first time performing, and it was a matinee, which the comedy clubs don't usually do matinees. So we had our work cut out for us in getting an audience there, but we did it.
Congratulations, and any plans for another one next year?
Oh, we've got 2 more shows this month.
Okay.
But at a different club. So we're going back to our home of the Laugh Factory that is hosted. They're ground zero of neurodivergent comedy, and we started producing the neurodivergent comedy shows there almost 2 years ago. And so through Spectrum Laboratory, we have a show at the end of April 25th, a Saturday late afternoon. And then a few days after that, on Monday, May 4th, we have another show at Laugh Factory, which is part of the Netflix Is a Joke Comedy Festival. And that will feature a number of the stars from Love on the Spectrum, the Netflix series that the new season premieres tomorrow, starring my client, Danny Bowman. And she's she's hosting the comedy show on May 4th as well. And also another one of my favorite clients, Caroline Corey. She is in Love on the Spectrum this season and in the comedy show on May 4th. So lots of stuff to promote. I'll be a maniac on LinkedIn and various other social channels until, well, every day, but even more so than usual because there's so much to promote. But we're here to talk about our guest and her event that is happening
April
on
24th, 25th, and 26th.
Yes. So her event actually overlaps, it dovetails with the Spectrum Laboratory show, but I'm going to be at her event on the 24th. So
would you like to introduce our guest?
We're going to roll out the red carpet for Diane Strand, who is the architect of DigiFest Temecula, a film festival that is celebrating its 10th year this year, with so many stars and luminaries of the entertainment business are visiting Temecula, California, and Diane is responsible for all of that and more. So she's here to talk about it today. Welcome, Diane.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Yay,
how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you. I'm excited to be here and chatting with you guys. And I loved listening to how great everything is going when I was backstage with you, Marlene. That's awesome.
Yes, and we're all in the same community, Chris. I don't know if I made that clear to you before the show, but Diane and I go way back to the original Autism and Entertainment conference that happened at the Skirball Center 2 years ago. It'll be 2 years ago on the 5th of April. And I got to know Diane in preparation for that. But Diane has a very robust background in the entertainment business. She's worked on so many shows and cool projects. And then she started her own thing in JDS Creative Academy. JDS am I saying that right? JDS Creative Academy
yes.
And productions and DigiFest. So lots of things. She's an entrepreneur. She's a producer. She's an educator.
Author of a book.
Lots of things to talk about.
Lots of things. Yes. Well, I'm really just passionate about the arts and how the arts really impact life and business, and whether that is for youth, teens, adults, mainstream, special needs. We do that through video, visual, performing arts. We do that through television shows and podcasts and launching careers, all the things. So that's what I love to talk about.
Diane, have you created your own podcast yet?
Well, I am not a host of the podcast that I created. Scott, who is my partner in life at business, he actually hosts a podcast. It's called SOI Talk. And that is where he interviews our day program participants on their journey through the program and learning and what they want to do and their skills and highlighting them. So that's the podcast that I produce. But I love being a guest. This is actually my second recording for the day. So, I do a lot of podcast guesting. That is kind of my sweet spot. I host a TV show called Spirit of Innovation, Arts Across America. And that's a magazine style show that we really talk about everything that impacts life, but we bring it in a creative kind of delivery, talking about how creativity drives infrastructure or government, or spotlighting nonprofits and being innovative and being creative. And that's the TV show. It's in its 8th year. It's also on ABC. So
congratulations.
Thank you. So we host that, and we also highlight our program participants through that, because it is a high-level broadcast show that they get IMBD credits for camera work and editing and interview. One of our participants has their own segment on the show, and it's called Aaron's Corner, and they go out and they interview unique things in the area and talk to the business owners, and then they edit it. So they write it, they are the on-camera talent, they edit it, and it's their own little segment on our globally streamed TV show, regionally broadcast through Southern California, and on everywhere nationwide on Amazon and Roku and Tubi and all the things.
Diane, how I
Love
got
that.
into this was through volunteering. I ended up doing volunteer work for a basketball team. They wanted a camera operator. Never done it in my life. Was nervous. After the game, they actually paid me for it, and then they referred me to a local cable company, and I started doing camera work for them. And then during the pandemic for 2 years, I decided, okay, I'm going to focus on a podcast show. And 6 years later, I've been in radio, and I do a lot of freelance media work as well. And I found my passion later in life.
I love that. That's what I'm all about, is following your passion, because when you have passion that drives a purpose, all things are possible. And whether that's a pathway to more stages and visibility and opportunities, or profit or pleasure, all the things. It's, passion first, find a purpose out of it, and then the pathway opens to possibilities.
Agreed.
And you can switch careers anytime in life. I've had people on my show that are older than me that have switched careers in their 50s, 60s, or 70s, or even 80s in some cases.
Sure. There's always room for a pivot.
Diane, can you just tell our audience a little bit about yourself? And when did you get the bug for acting and wanting to get into the entertainment industry?
Well, I always say you can't connect your dots looking forward. You have to look back and trust that they will connect in the future. And when I look back over my life and the dots and the pivots and the milestones, my first dot really shows up all the way back in second grade, when all I wanted to do was play Betsy Ross in the school play. And I was told maybe I should try something else because I couldn't read. And it turns out I'm dyslexic. I was undiagnosed at the time. And but something else also showed up in second grade, and that's called tenacity. And so when someone says you shouldn't or you couldn't, watch me. And somehow I figured out how to at least audition. And I got the role of Betsy Ross in the school play. And I knew that's where, I loved being. And another thing that really kind of defined what I'm doing today also showed up in second grade. There was a candy selling contest for fundraising at the school, and whoever sold the most candy would win this, here I go dating myself, 19-inch black and white TV set. And I really wanted that TV for my bedroom. And so I set out and I enlisted help, mostly from my parents, but at old school, knocking on doors, went into business parks, and I sold as a second grader the most candy in the whole school, in the K through 8 school, and I won that TV. And I still work in television today. I'm an entrepreneur, and I love the arts. And second grade, that was a heck of a year, right?
Yeah, wow. That was your defining moment.
But it was because school was hard for me, and it was always because I wanted to be in the play that kept me connected. So I didn't run off and ditch with all my friends and do all, not say I didn't have fun, but yet at the same time it kept me connected enough because I wanted to be in the play. When it came time to, after high school, things got rocky, but when I wanted to go back to school, I'm like, well, I can go get in a play and go back to, junior college. And that's where then I found my voice, right? I also got involved in taking a journalism class, and then that started my writing. And here's this little dyslexic girl who can't read, can't write, but yet I'm starting to write for a magazine. And I'll never forget, I did an interview with Bobby McFerrin when I was in college. Don't worry, be happy. And he was performing. I got to interview him, and it was this whole thing. And that really started to change everything for me. And from there, I wanted more. And that's when I moved up to LA. I was acting. That's what I thought. That's when I went to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts, and I was going to pursue that. But I had, lack of a better word, ants in my pants. You couldn't be in the school and being a student and also take acting roles outside of the school. And I wanted to take acting roles because they were being offered. And I'm like, I'm not going to miss an opportunity. And so I didn't go back for second year of American Academy of Dramatic Arts. But I had an AA degree, and I had a year at the academy, and I was out there doing small acting things. And that's when I decided that, I was going to put all my unemployed actor friends and myself, my entrepreneurial spirit rose up, and we started creating plays on Theater Row in Hollywood and bussing in the inner city kids. And it was part of redevelopment and economic development and all the different things. And it really changed it. All of a sudden, I liked the producing and the directing and the writing more than being on stage. And I started doing some television. A show that I wrote got picked up on public access, and I was producing it. And it actually, it wasn't just an everyday public access, it was a bigger public access that was getting some PBS time and some other things. It was called The Magic Book. And then I wrote a screenplay, and I thought that, of course, I would go with the screenplay. That's what happened with Magic Book. I wrote a thing, it got picked up, and I was in it, and I was producing it, and it was all these. Well, Showtime didn't quite work that way. And, and they looked at me, and actually they said, we don't plan to produce your script. We are going to shelve it. We have something very similar. And you don't have a bachelor's degree, so we wouldn't hire you at Showtime. And I went, I never wanted to hear that, whether it was true or not. I don't know. That was the reason that they gave me. I didn't ever want to hear that. So that pushed me right back into school. And I got my degree from Cal State Northridge in radio, television, and film. And I never looked back, and went to work on shows like Friends and General Hospital, and built the high def control room at Staples Center, and did the Grammys and the DNC, and used to stream Lakers, Kings, and Avengers games over to Japan in the early 2000s when that, streaming was just coming on. We were doing that out of Staples Center, and I got to produce for Barbara Streisand, and just had an incredible little run. And then the contract at Staples Center switched, and things changed. And then I went to work at Amgen Pharmaceuticals. That's where I kind of landed as I was looking for work. I got placed as a temp, as a producer, making videos, for rheumatoid arthritis and cancer. And it really started to change everything for me. These were videos that had a completely different significance than entertainment and, sports and all the things. And I did get swayed. I went back to reality television after about a year at Amgen. I never ever leave something you love for the money. And I did. I was swayed by the money to go back to reality television. And I worked on shows like Survivor and Big Brother. And I came home venting. I had a 3-year-old son, about the win-lose culture. And that's when my life changed in 15 seconds when my husband said, well, what if? He was a professional actor. He was doing movies with Bruce Willis and Christopher Walken, and he was having films go off to Cannes Film Festival that he was making. And he said, we sold the house and left Hollywood and started our own production company. And I don't know if he was joking or not. And it was like a fluff of the sheets that went up as we were and I went, yeah, let's do that. And our life pivoted and changed. And that was actually pretty much 24 years ago, like this week when that happened.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I put in my notice, and May 1st, the house sold so fast. And, we quit the job and sold the house and packed up the 3-year-old and the fish and the dog and all the things and left Hollywood. And instead of going to Beverly, we were going to San Diego. And everything really shifted and changed. But I never left the arts. I never left the passion behind. And now full circle moment, I'm right back into the thick of it. I just found different stages and created my own production company, and I've been talking. I'm sure there's other questions. So, we can get to more stories.
Diane, I wanted to get your thoughts on this too, and maybe Marlene's.
Chris, do you want me to jump in here?
Can you hear me?
Maybe you're.
I can hear you.
You can hear me, Diane?
I can't hear.
Okay, it's
I
your
can't hear
headphones,
Chris.
Marlene.
Oh no.
It's okay, Marlene. It's your headphones. Just try plugging them in and out. Okay. Anyways, Diane, this being in the media industry, technology is great when it's perfect, and sometimes it doesn't go perfectly. I think it's something to do with Marlene's headsets. Sometimes they go out on her.
Sure.
I believe she uses Apple. So, Marlene, just try unplugging your headphones or earbuds and see if that works. I wanted to get your thoughts, Diane, since you've been in the industry a long time. Do you find creativity is kind of shrinking these days?
Well, I find that creativity is the answer to everything. And I believe that the arts and creativity touch every industry. It's how we, it's how we market, it's how we communicate, it's how we learn, it's how we it's how we talk about history, it's how we document things, it's how we step outside our comfort zone, it's how we learn about teamwork and collaboration. Everything comes from the arts and creativity. And if you are leaning towards creativity taking a hit, I'm sure that's probably leaning into an AI conversation. But yet, on the other side of that, I'm a true believer. I love AI. I have no issues with AI. I don't think that it stunts creativity. I think you got to have the human in the middle. And I think it drives creativity. I teach confidence and creativity. I am a visibility coach. That is what I do. And getting people to market and message and be clear, no matter what it is that we're talking about. That is my sweet zone in how that works. So, I think that, if you need to figure out finances, get more creative. If you need to figure out how to market, get more creative. If you need to figure out how to do more and it's fear that's holding you back from doing what you need, get creative. You need to process something in your brain, pull out a coloring book. I'm not saying you need to become an artist with a paintbrush or you need to get up on stage or do those things, but it's going to show you how to step outside your comfort zone, to step into a subjective space and learn how to deal with objections and deal with be resilient. That's the power of the arts. That's the power of creativity. So if creativity is taking a hit, dig deep and find it inside yourself, because we all have it. We're all creative. I don't care who you are, what you do, the things that come from inside you, that is creativity. And if you feel it's stunted inside yourself, do something that makes it start vibrating inside of you.
Now, you mentioned AI, and then I'm going to let Marlene talk for a few minutes. AI can be a really good tool, and I sometimes occasionally use it for editing video. Pardon my voice. But the only negative is when you're in media and you're watching content on social media platforms, you have to make sure it's not AI is fake, because there's a lot of fake AI stuff out there. And I wanted to get your thoughts, and Marlene's too, that should maybe the government or somebody legislate you AI, because sometimes AI can be used for bad things on social media too.
Absolutely. Well, social media can be used for bad things. So I
Yes.
think that's kind of where you need to start. I don't know that now there is a whole realm of AI and where it should be and how it should be. And yes, I do think regulation is a good
Right.
thing. Putting up guardrails and boundaries are a good thing, because we are talking about artificial intelligence, and artificial intelligence, has a way of taking on a life on of its own, because it's artificial and we don't know what it really is, and it is intelligent. So it's going to find a way. That is the interesting thing. Life has a way to life, whether it is artificial life or real life, it has a way to life. So I do believe there needs to be guardrails, but I don't think that that should hinder us from humans in leveraging it and utilizing it to the best of its ability. If social media was regulated, we wouldn't have to worry about what was real and what is not real, because it would be telling us, and it would be able to decipher what is real and what isn't. And I think that's the shame of social media, not necessarily the shame of artificial intelligence. Just because, there is the thing, I think it can, and so it should, but just because it should doesn't mean that it has to. As you go through that, and we want we want to make sure that we have the capabilities, but we want to make sure that there is the human in the middle to make it work, to make it have the sense of mortality that us as humans have, that artificial life can never have.
Marlene, can you hear me now?
Marlene, can you hear?
I can't hear Chris at all. I can hear you perfectly, but Chris is like a ghost.
Well, he says it's your turn now.
It's my turn. Well, Diane, I would love to know the seeds of the idea for JDS and how that started. Did it start as classes or a production company, or what were the seedlings of those ideas, and how did it grow into the empire and the film festival and all the different offshoots that exist today?
Sure. Well, interesting enough, through some of my work in Hollywood, I was doing some independent producing. And when, it's as I share my story, I realize how much I date myself. But as AOL was starting back in the day, and we needed to create an email, and we were working. So at that time, it was JDS. J is that 3-year-old that I talked about,
Oh,
Joshua.
mm-hmm,
And D at that time is Diane.
mm-hmm.
And S is Scott. And really, it was JDS Tahoe, who was our dog, at AOL.com. And then when I started producing and we decided to launch our business, we changed Tahoe out to JDS Productions.
Okay.
And so, but our oldest son, who is Joshua, his middle name is also Daniel. And of course, he's a Strand. So JDS is also now the initials of all 3 of my children. It never started out to be that way, but as the business grew, that we figured they would all want to be a part of it. And so I didn't just start one business. The very first business was JDS Productions, which was a partnership between Scott and I for our corporate video and marketing agency business, that then grew into JDS Video and Media Productions. and Inc., which then we got a DBA, which became JDS Studio. And through that, we have launched over 100 careers back into the entertainment industry as actors, writers, directors, and producers. We also have our best-selling book, which is right over my shoulder, called Showbiz.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Breaking into the industry as an actor. And Scott's the show, and I'm the business. And so so our industry workshop class is what our book is based off of how to, but you can apply it to anything, which was the start of me becoming a visibility coach. And then 12 years ago, we were being asked to do things like musical theater, and can I teach script writing, and can we do this and that? And it was like, oh, there's only 24 hours in a day. And so to kind of do that, that's when we decided to create a nonprofit and bring in some of my industry friends from out here in the Southwest Riverside County area. And we met around my kitchen table at that point, and we created JDS Creative Academy, which then started doing all the visual performing and digital arts. And at that time, we were probably about 3.5, 4 years into being a nonprofit about visual performing and digital arts, when my business philosophy is visibility, and you show up and you say yes. And I was at a chamber event, doing the things like, hi, I'm Diane from JDS Studio. This is what I do, blah, blah, blah. And afterwards, I had this woman walk up to me, and she tells me she's from Inland Regional Center, and she wants to know if I would meet with her because she had a business opportunity for me. And I'm like, Inland Regional Center? I'm like, I don't really even know what that is. And she said, well, and at this time, if you can think about it, this was like 2016, 17. We had just had a huge mass shooting out in San Bernardino.
Oh, right.
At Inland
I
Regional
remember.
Center. And that was
was it at the regional center?
It was at the regional center. And that was all that I could. I was like, wait, when you said, I'm like, why do I know that is? And she's like, yes, that's exactly what you're thinking. And I'm like, well, and at this point, I did not know what it was that we could work on together. I had no idea, but she was asking to meet with me. And, my philosophy, show up, say yes. I'm like, yeah, yes, let's meet over at my studio. We can go over. And we came over, and, instantaneously, we hit it off. We became quick little besties as we're sitting to talk. We sat down in 2 chairs in my lobby of my studio. We never even made it back to my office, as we just start talking. And she starts telling me what Inland Regional Center is, and that it's all about adults with developmental disabilities and how they help put people to work. And and she thought that this would be a great place because she had an individual who loved audio, and if he could just come here and do what's called a paid internship, and it would be a great environment and atmosphere. And I'm still like, oh my gosh, I'm not even here at the studio full time. We show up for classes. You want me to have somebody at this? I'm at this point, I'm like, I'm not getting it, but I'm still like all in there, like, okay, I got to say yes. This is, she's at like, so she said, and I'm like, okay, that'll get me to my studio more, and I'll have to be here if somebody's coming. So I met him. Of course, he was fantastic. And I said yes. And so I started having to be at the studio now 20 hours during the day, so he could move, at that point, flat pieces around, help kind of clean, do different things. So Scott and I were spending a lot more time here. We were doing setups, things that we were doing out of our home. We were now starting to make at the studio. And within like 4 or 5 months, all of a sudden, he was really learning audio. He was starting to participate in things. And it was like he was learning And we weren't even teaching anything. We were just like, help us here, or do this, or move this here. Or, oh yeah, questions. He would ask questions, and while we were here, but it wasn't like we were setting out to teach him anything. I thought I was at that point. I thought I'm doing a good deed, right? We have a young man with disabilities and autism who just really likes the environment, and at that point you're helping us really move heavy pieces, so I don't have to do it. Scott can have a helping hand as we're moving set pieces around, and or plugging in equipment, testing things, and he's learning. And then it's like all of a sudden, of course, as job coaches, we're here and with them and reports and things, and we're seeing this. And that same person, her name is Beth Crane, comes up and says, well, we're noticing at Inland Regional Center what a great thing you're providing. And we want to introduce you to Vince Toms, who's the head of it. And we think you should design a program. I'm like, design a program? I'm like, well, I don't even know what that means. I'm like, they're like, well, if you can teach one, you can teach many. And I'm like, am I teaching? Is that what we're doing? So it was just kind of all of those things. But I will give you a little backstory. I had already gotten a full curriculum through Mount San Jacinto College and the state of California for a college apprenticeship program in editing and directing and producing. So that had happened probably about 18 months prior to this young man coming to our studio. And so they're like, if you can teach one, you can teach many. And I'm like, well, okay, what do I have to do? And then I had to design a program. So I got my writing partner and we sat down and we based it at that time. We designed it off of the apprenticeship because I knew that kind of worked, and we had class and we had curriculum, and we started kind of figuring out how we could apply it in a setting and start doing it. And 4 months later, we had a program design that got approved by Inland Regional Center. And and actually that anniversary, May 15th of 2018, we had our first 5 participants walk through the door. And now I have 30 here 25 hours a week. We've placed over 13 into real entertainment jobs. We have those that have gone on to higher education, those that have gone on to other jobs working with even DOR, but taking their soft skills and their professional skills, learning Google and email and those, and being able to work in other things so they can do, pursue, obviously the entertainment industry is hard for anyone to break into. So let alone somebody who has some, challenges that they have to overcome as well.
Wow. Incredible.
Thank you. So that's the story.
Diane, any plans for another book in the future? And how satisfying is it being able to have impact on people's lives too?
The short answer is yes. My next book will probably be out in about 4 to 5 months max. It's in its editing stages right now with my publisher. So that will be coming out. It's called The Creativepreneur. And, to answer your question about what it means to make an impact, it's beyond something that I can really even put into words, because, now when people ask me what do I do for a living, I say I make dreams come true with a little bit of hope, and that's helping one person every day. And that's how I describe hope. And then I even came up with an acronym for DREAM. And this is what I really teach. And it applies to everybody, because when you're dreaming, you're sleeping. If you want that dream to become a reality, you need to have direction. You need to realize the work it's going to take. You have to evaluate and engineer, reverse engineer how it's going to work, see it out there and the things you have to do. That's that realization and evaluation. And then you need to take action with accountability. And that's that A, to have the momentum to turn the dream into reality. And that does not matter whether you have, if you are somebody who, needs more assistance with your abilities, or if you have full abilities. We're all in this boat. All, high tide rises all boats, and we have to do this together and work together. And that is the best thing that I am able to share with other people, is when we even have really talented actors and filmmakers who come through our door. You have to play well with others. It has to be inclusive. We have to give grace to everyone, or you'll be a one-hit wonder just because you have the it and the talent. But that does not mean that you are going to make it in any industry if you don't pull it all together to make sure that we are a community making the community better.
Connections and networking as well is important as well. Don't burn bridges too. That's what I've learned being in the radio industry too.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, I do believe that there is a time and a place that, some people are in your life for a season and there's a reason. And then there are those that are lifers, and you don't burn the bridge, but sometimes there is a time and a place to take the fork in the road and cross over to the other side, and then let go what's behind you.
Diane, I'm not sure if Marlene can still hear me, so I'll let
I
Marlene.
can. I can hear you now.
Maybe
It's
that's
a
not a good.
miracle.
And I want, hey, Diane and Marlene, I want to apologize too. I wish it was 100%, but I do apologize, and I feel bad about this. So we'll just try to get through it. And like I said, thank you so much. Marlene, would you like to ask Diane the next question? And I do have a special video I'd like to play before we wrap up the show.
Oh, why don't we play the video?
Do you want to play the video now?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, and I can't say I produced it or directed it, but it's a video that I know both of you guys will like. Please let me know if you can hear the audio. I'm the audio guy here too, so hopefully you guys can hear this video. And this is courtesy of your website.
DigiFest, the 3-day multimedia event that's so much more than a film festival, celebrates a decade of digital evolution. Join us on April 24th, 25th, and 26th as we honor the past, embrace the future, and spotlight the creators shaping what's next. Walk the blue carpet and immerse yourself in the magic of multimedia. Touch, listen, experience the festival's competition entries submitted from all over the world, all vying for coveted Digi Awards. Vote for your favorites to win People's Choice. Enjoy more top-level guest speakers and star-studded entertainment than ever before, including the Broadway performer and keynote speaker, Justin Guarini. You know him from American Idol's first season. We also have Emmy Award-winning Daily Show writer, Rob Kuttner, and celebrity business coach, Kim Walsh Phillips. Plus, rapper Curtis Young, firstborn heir of Dr. Dre, Sam Larson from Glee, Melrose Place's Colin Egglesfield, and Sabode Garg from Love on the Spectrum. Learn how to find success in the digital arena from venture capitalist and business coach Bill Walsh. Find out what it takes to make it in the entertainment industry from animation creator Timothy Rausch. Meet the entertainment industry experts on our Hollywood Insiders panels. From independent filmmakers to media specialists, podcasters, and more, this is your chance to learn from the best of the best and achieve your dreams. Plus, don't miss the screening of the festival's top film and video submissions and the awards ceremony. Find out if your favorite entries won a Digi, honorable mention, or People's Choice. Tickets on sale now. Go to digifesttemecula.org to get yours before they're gone.
Chris.
Thoughts on that video?
Thank you.
I hope that was the right one. Was that the right one?
That was the right one. That was awesome.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. Thank you,
Marlene. Like I said, did that make up for me being under the? Did that make up for me being under the weather tonight? I hope.
Yeah, nothing need be done about you being under the weather, because I am in the same boat, and as Diane said, a rising tide raises all ships. That's the rising tide that's raising this ship. You really you brought it home, Chris, and I hadn't seen that video yet, but
So
I guess I missed it on the website. But that was going to be my next question: is Diane, tell us about DigiFest.
Well, we are just around the corner. It is our 10th annual celebration this year. It's so much more than a film festival. It really does bring everything together. It's all the different mediums: film, video, animation, podcasting, music, websites, graphics, photography, gaming. We have more entries this year than we've ever had in every single category, even audiobooks, all the things. So it brings it all together. It's a competition as well as a conference, as well as networking. You get inspired from Emmy winners and actors and writers and directors and people like yourself, Marlene, who are going to be on a panel talking about how you work in this industry, how you get to be able to live your passion, live your purpose. So it's teaching the attendees and even the other speakers of what to do. It's all inclusive. We have, we're talking from mainstream all the way through the neurodiverse community, how it collaborates, how it intersects. We have screenings going on. It's a little bit of a foodie thing. There's going to be food here.
What?
Food.
Yeah, there's food.
Oh.
There's entertainment. So it's a combination of a concert with we have rapper Curtis Young. He's Dr. Dre's son. So, he's going to be rapping and telling his story. We have Justin Guarini from American Idol season 1, right up there next to Kelly Clarkson. He's going to be here performing. He's a big Broadway actor, as well as, now he's in this business entrepreneurial space. So we are combining even that with the business entrepreneurial. We have some really high level digital content creators from the business community, like Bill Walsh, Kim Walsh Phillips, Justin Guarini, Kari Michelson, who was, the actress on Gimme a Break in the 80s.
Yeah.
But, now she's, one of my biggest mentors, but she is, she's a high level entrepreneur. She talks on stages with Tony Robbins and, all the big inspirational people. And so she'll be here speaking. We got Glee in the house, so there's like over 30 plus speakers. It would probably take me 10 minutes to run down the list.
Wow. That's amazing. I remember Kari Michelson from Give Me a Break. Oh my gosh. Wow. I can't wait to see how she turned out.
Well, she's still as beautiful as ever and as smart as can be. And she's amazing and very kind and very approachable.
Oh, wow. That's fantastic to hear. I'm so looking forward to being on the panel. So, Chris, we have an autism and entertainment panel, and you happen to know, Chris, 3 out of 3 panelists because they've all been on this show. Judy Utah, the founder of Autism and Entertainment, and Rob Kuttner, who is my producing partner and also a huge supporter of the autism community. And the 3 of us will be talking about the opportunities that we've created in the industry, but also that are still yet to be created, and encouraging other people to do the same and to follow in your footsteps, Diane.
Absolutely.
Diane, how did this event come together 10 years ago?
Looking forward to it. And I've never been to Temecula before, so it'll be an adventure.
Oh, very cool. Well, I'm excited to have you here. How did this come to play? Well, there used to be a festival here in Temecula in the Valley. It was called the Temecula Valley Film and Musical Festival, International Film and Music Festival. And it went on for like 17 years. And then it kind of, went away. And in the couple of years that it was no longer happening, I had the city, and I had some other people in the community kind of knocking on my door. This was actually the year before we created the day program. So, because DigiFest came first before the day program, and it launched in 2017, but we really started it in 2016 when everyone was kind of saying you should do something. And I said, well, I am not a film. That's, now I work more in film than I ever have worked in film. I'm a TV girl. And I'm like, so it has to more represent me. And, we were talking, and I'm like, I do video and marketing, and I'm in the digital space. And I'm like, I don't know, what are you going to call it? DigiFest? And everyone went, yeah, that's what you should call it. And it was like, oh, well, and so we just started, kind of brainstorming around that. We got in touch with a couple of people who were part of the other festival, and the city got behind it. They sponsored us, and the county got right in. And so it just kind of took on a life of its own. And we launched the first DigiFest in about 7 months. And here we are 10 years later.
Incredible. And you've had a lot of cooperation from the city of Temecula, right?
Yeah, the city is a sponsor. The county is a sponsor. We have Pachanga as a sponsor. So we have some pretty great sponsors. Especially this year, we have Go High Level, and we have a lot. Cal State San Marcos is a sponsor. We have the Film Commission. We have a lot of, high level sponsors who have stepped in, AT&T. So, it really has been nice and helped us, because, everything is way more expensive now. A month. So think about the date. So if you think about like even COVID, right? We had DigiFest scheduled for April when the world shut down on March 19th, and it turned into a Digi Day in August.
Okay, all right.
And it was live streamed.
Way to be flexible.
That's right. And that's what we've done is roll. We've recreated. Now it's all held here at the studio. We used to go to City Hall, and we used to go to a theater to do the screenings, but as costs and things like that, it was, we have the facility, and so we just started hosting it out of here, and all it's done is grow and grow. And hopefully your listeners out there, they're going to go to digifesttemecula.org. You can learn all about it, see all the speakers. You can get your tickets there. It's not too many places that you get to go, and this is very festival, but it's also very intimate. This is a place you want to be able to connect. This is the rooms you want to be in if you want to connect with the people who are really going to be able to move the needle in your business, whatever that business may be. You can be an entrepreneur, you can be an actor, you can be a director, you can be a writer, you can be mainstream, neurodiverse, you can be makeup artistry, this podcaster, in graphic design. This is the room where it says you want, let's steal from Hamilton, be in the room where it happens. This is the room. These are the rooms where it happens. This is not 1,000 people. There are 100 tickets that get sold to this event. And then there's probably about 50 or 60 other people around who are your speakers and your volunteers and stuff. But it is small and intimate. These are people that you can have lunch with. These are people that you can get to talk to and connect with to move the needle. Plus, the atmosphere is fun and exciting, and there's just energy and a vibe, and you're going to walk the red carpet, or blue carpet as we say, because JDS Blue and supportive autism, everything's blue around here. But walk the blue carpet, be interviewed on the red carpet, leverage your media, be seen. This is the place to make that happen.
Fantastic.
Will this be available online
Can't
for
wait.
people? Will this be online for people that
Oh,
are
we're
out of
back
town?
to
in
not
person?
hearing Chris.
Okay.
Well, I can still hear him. I think
Okay.
it's when he goes off camera and comes back, it changes the audio. So maybe if you go back off camera and come on, she'll hear you again. But no, it will not be available online. It is only in person. We did it online through COVID. We streamed it. But again, it's be in the room where it's happening. This is not about selling the most tickets and jamming 1,000 people, because yeah, you'll get benefit from listening to the speakers, but then we're not going to get benefit of you attending. So you got to be in the room. This is a place to be. You want to be out here in Temecula. I can get you a great room rate. If you need it, let me know. I'll get you a link. If you're coming into town and you want to book a room, we have Best Western as our sponsor. They'd love to fill up their hotel. They got 2 of them in town. So, that's kind of to do that. We have a lot of local people. Tickets will sell out. They are selling fast. They've
That's
been on
good.
sale since March 1st. So, I wouldn't wait much longer, because, they will go. We're hoping. Last year we were sold out about 6 days ahead of the event. So hoping to beat that. We've been beating records all year long with entries and speakers and all the things. So, I'm hoping by, April 5th or 6th, we're all sold out. So go get your ticket.
I can't this year, but definitely in the future, I would like to come out there and attend an event and see both of you as well. And in geography, how far is this? Where's the location compared to LA?
We're about 60 miles south of LA, depending on where you're coming from in Los Angeles, and depending on traffic, and where you're coming from, anywhere from 45 minutes to 4 hours.
Sounds like Toronto
Easy.
traffic.
Yeah.
Sounds like Toronto traffic. Have you been to Toronto, Canada yet?
Yes, I have been there years and years and years and years ago, but yes, I have been there.
Marlene, can you hear me again?
I'm taking that as no, she can't hear you.
Okay.
I can't hear. So maybe that's our cue to wrap.
We're going to wrap this up. Diane, just 2 more quick questions for you. What is a fun fact about yourself and JDS Studio? And do you have any plans to expand internationally in the future?
Well, the short answer is yes, we're always growing. I got big, lofty dreams, for sure. That's what Arts Across America is all about, but we're not stopping at those borders. It's arts across the world. I'm going to Kenya later and bringing arts programs there in September, trying to, show the power of the arts. A fun fact. Wow. A fun fact. Well, I already kind of shared JDS is the initials of all 3 of my kids, Joshua, Jordan, and Jasmine. And they all have a middle name with D. Jasmine is Jasmine Diane, Jordan David, and Joshua Daniel. And we're all Strands, but, Scott and I are in there somewhere. I don't know if those are fun facts. Those are facts.
I'm having fun.
That's a good question. You have one?
No, I just said I'm having fun. So they are fun
well,
facts.
That's good. We're having fun. I think I just really, if I had to say a fact, I don't know how fun it is, other than it really is to lead from a place of kindness. That's what I'm all about.
Kindness is free.
Yeah, it is. It costs nothing. And, so if I could start a movement, it would be a kindness movement. And
we need more of it in the world.
Yeah. And community.
Absolutely. And Diane, before we wrap this up, I got to ask you this. Soap operas. You were in General Hospital. What was that experience like? And do you see soap operas completely diminishing in the next 5 years or less?
I hope not. I certainly hope not, that they will diminish. I love General Hospital. I've been watching General Hospital since I was in 6th grade. a babysitter kind of fun school companion. You know, I used to, when my parents worked, we had a pool in our backyard. And so I had a companion for the summer, not a babysitter because I was too old for a babysitter then. But I had a companion and she watched General Hospital. And so every day, you know, we stopped so she could go in and watch General Hospital. And at the same time, I got hooked into the show. And so I've been watching it. It went from General Hospital to then VCRs came out, and the next summer I was into All My Children. Boy, you guys get me to date myself. And then but you couldn't turn the VCR on and off. It had to just run from All My Children all the way through General Hospital. So then I started watching One Life to Live, and you know, so I never stopped. The only time I did not watch General Hospital was when I worked on the show because I was 2 weeks ahead in the scripts. So I didn't need to watch it as I was reading it. But I still recorded it. I recorded it every day. I just didn't stop to watch it. But I am back to watching it every day. It is my, you know, thank God I got to get a lot more accomplished in my entrepreneurial life when, you know, All My Children and One Life to Live kind of fell off the wayside because it freed up more of my time and I stopped taking on new TV shows. But I hope not. I hope it's still around. I hope they talk about reviving some of the other ones. You know, I think it's here to stay. I still have friends from the show. Mark Teschner, the casting director.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, he's been to the studio and shows up. Maurice Bernard, he lives pretty close to where we are. He and his son come over to the studio. I've had Kelly Tybo on the DigiFest stage. She plays Britt on General Hospital. I've had Katie McLean on the DigiFest stage in 2019. She was on All My Children. So I'm a huge soap lover. As far as that goes, that's not going to change. That's my guilty pleasure. You know, whether I'm dozing off and it's 1 a.m, for some reason, I watch it every day. And, you know, I like the story. I like the connection. I'm loyal. And so I just, you know, it's my guilty little pleasure. So I hope it doesn't go away. And I'm so honored that I got to work on the show. You know, it definitely impacted me. It taught me so much about the industry. You know, I went from an intern really quickly to working in the booth and timing the show and getting to work in post-production. I still love post-production today. It's one of my favorite things about all of the industry is sitting in the edit bays. So yeah,
behind the scenes, and I've done that in TV, and it's like the on-air people get all the credit, but you need your producers, directors, camera operators, audio guys, guys to just the behind the scenes guys are so important. It's truly a team effort.
Yep.
Marlene, as we wrap this up, do you have a final question for Diane?
Do you have a final question, Marlene?
No, I don't think so. We've covered all the bases, and I know I'll be seeing you soon, and I'll have a chance to ask you things in person. So I'm looking forward to that. And also, I wanted to thank you because I was on your show, The Spirit of Innovation, this morning with Joanna Lack. So this is a great reciprocal arrangement we have going here. So thank you for that.
Absolutely, yes. I'm sure. Johanna is our head writer. She's my writing partner who really, I've been working with her for 20 years. And so, yeah, so I look forward to seeing that all come together. And yes, you'll be on our show.
Diane, I want to say thank you so much for coming on the Small Talk podcast. And hopefully, again, we can have you on on this show or my other show in the future, because I love listening to your story. And that's what I love about doing this industry is the storytelling aspect and also learning from every guest or guests that come on here as well. And Marlene, you've been a big help as well, getting some great guests on here. Booking guests is time consuming, as Marlene knows, and Diane, you know as well. And where can our audience follow you on social media, your website, and the best way of contacting you? And if you want to plug DigiFest one more time before we wrap this up.
Perfect. Thank you. Well, I am all over social media, and that's at Diane Strand, DianeStrand. So you can find me on all the platforms: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. I don't think I'm personally on TikTok, but my businesses are on TikTok, and you can search the hashtag JDS Family. And that's hashtag JDS Family, and then we'll come up on all the platforms. You probably can even find us on X or Twitter or whatever it's called now. It's out there. We were talking about, I try and stay as far away from social media, except for business, as possible. But I do like it. I get to stay in touch with people. So hashtag JDS Family, at Diane Strand. And DigiFest is April 24th, 25th, and 26th. Go to digifesttemecula.org for tickets, as well as follow DigiFest all over social media. If you just type in DigiFest, it will come up. We are the only thing around because I own the trademark and the licensing to it. So if you want to license it, come find me too, because we are in the licensing business for that. But I hope to see you at DigiFest. Connect. I love to connect with people. Reach out on a DM. Reach out. Come to DigiFest. Come to the studio. Say hello. Connect. Collaborate, and let's get creative.
Diane, as we wrap this show
Excellent.
up,
Thank you.
can you just ask Marlene if she's got any final thoughts as we wrap this up?
Do you have any final thoughts, Marlene, that you'd like to share?
Nope. We've covered every base, and I'm looking forward to seeing you very soon in person.
Me too.
And Diane, maybe not this year, but in the future, I would like to come to this event and support you and Marlene. And thank you so much for coming on here tonight and for putting up with my runny nose and my coughing. And I really had a great time talking to you and learning from you and Marlene as well. Thank you so much. You're both good people. And even though I'm in Canada, I feel like I've known you guys for years.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Diane. Marlene, we'll see you in April
Thank
for our next
See you
episode.
soon.
Thank you so much, Diane. Have a good night. Continued success.
Good night.
Good night, Marlene. All right, we had to cut that a little short. Marlene was just having trouble hearing me, but I want to say thank you to our guest, Diane Strand, for coming on here tonight, the founder and owner of JDS Studios, and to my co-host, Marlene H.O.P.E, for coming on. I do apologize, everybody. I picked up my first cold in 3 years, so I do apologize for that. So thank you to Diane Strand and Marlene H.O.P.E for coming on here tonight as well. And the next Small Talk podcast with Marlene H.O.P.E and myself, season 4, episode 4, will be at the end of April. So season 4, episode 4, overall number 35 will be at the end of April. Marlene and myself with another special guest. And please comment on the Small Talk Facebook page. You can follow Marlene and myself on social media pages, and the Small Talk has a Facebook page, the Small Talk Podcast Facebook page. We have over 202 members, so if you'd like to be a part of that page, please send an invite, and Marlene or myself will accept you as well. So as we wrap up this show, guys, the next live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show is going to be on Thursday, April 2nd at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 on the West Coast, with special guest Andrea Abate. She is a TV writer, stand-up comedian out of California. So I'm looking forward to having Andrea Abate on and talk to us a little bit about her career as a TV writer, being a part of the Tony Danza show, and as a stand-up comedian out of California. So Thursday, April 2nd at 8 p.m. And I have more shows coming on as well. And again, the Small Talk Podcast, Season 4, Episode 4, overall number 35, with Marlene Sharp and myself will take place at the end of April as well. And of course, on behalf of Marlene and myself, I want to say thank you to you, the audience, for watching the Small Talk Podcast on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, X, Instagram, and the Small Talk Podcast is on audio platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Good Pods, and wherever podcasts are available. And if you're a business and company and you'd like to advertise on the Small Talk Podcast, which is on 21 platforms, you can email me at cpomay19@gmail.com or DM me on my social media pages. My prices are reasonable and fair and competitive, and I look forward to hearing from you and to hopefully advertising your business and company on the Small Talk Podcast, which is in its 4th season and just completed our 34 episode tonight as well. And that is about it for tonight, guys. And I'm looking forward to the next show in April. And as we wrap up the show, guys, again, you can follow the Small Talk Podcast on the Facebook Small Talk Podcast page. Marlene is on XCOM as Diva Marlene 70. Her website is pinkpoodleproductions.com. My website is beacons.ai/Christy Pomay. And I'm also on Twitter X at Christy Pomay. And you can also find our Facebook group, the Small Talk Facebook page there as well. And that is about it for tonight's show. Again, I want to say thank you to our guest, Diane Strand, the founder and owner of JDS Studio. And she's also an author of her own book called Showbiz, Breaking into the Business as an Actor, and she has another book coming out as well. So please check out JDS Studio and DigiFest, which is coming up in Tumaca, California on April 24th, 25th, and 26th as well. And again, thank you for putting up with me. I'm just under the weather with a cold too as well, and I hope Marlene feels better as well. So again, thank you to everyone for watching, listening to the Small Talk Podcast, and to Diane Strand from JDS Studio for coming on here tonight. I hope everybody has a great night, and I want to wish everybody a happy Easter, happy holidays, and we'll see you back on the Small Talk Podcast in about a month's time in April with Marlene and myself. And again, the next live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show is going to be Thursday, April 2nd at 8 p.m. with special guest Andrea Abate, a TV writer and a stand-up comedian out of California. Have a great night, everybody. And again, happy Easter, happy Good Friday, and enjoy your Easter weekend coming up. And we'll see you back here in April for another edition of the Small Talk Podcast, hosted by Marlene Sharp and Chris Pomay. Good night, everybody.